Hello, this is Andrew, and here we are at GNS3. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to get our hands on some live equipment via the GNS3 emulator. When you open, after you've loaded it up, according to the last video, this is what you should see. So go ahead and close this. It's going to boot up to your server. Just go ahead and let it do that. Okay, now you don't need to save this project. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into Edit Preferences, because what I did was I've had this on my machine and been using it, but I erased it, and I'm going to do Restore Defaults just to make sure everything's back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, so you don't really have to do that. Your starting point would be Edit Preferences. You want to come under Style here, go to Legacy, do OK, and that's going to give you this normal interface. So if you look under Routers, if you look under switches, you'll see there's switches, but these aren't real switches, okay? So at the moment, you don't want to use those. There's no routers in here because we haven't loaded any iOS images. So that's what we're going to do, but we're actually going to load a router and make it a switch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go to Edit Preferences. You want to look here is where your iOS images, your binary images are going to live. This is the iOS image that you get from Cisco. It's the iOS Cisco image, okay? Now, what you want to do here is go ahead and go on the iOS routers and then do New, and then Browse. This is your browsing for your Cisco iOS image. Okay, here's a 3725. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and load this. You'll see it came in here. I'm going to do Next. Yours is going to say, do you want to decompress it? If it's the first time you've ever used that file, just do Yes, Decompress. And then after you do decompress, it's going to look like this. Since I've used mine before, it's already decompressed, so don't worry about that. Alright, so then I'm going to do Next. And I'm going to choose the default of the RAM. And this is the key point here, is you want to choose this 16 Ethernet switch module. Okay, this is if you've looked on the back of a Cisco router, you'll see that there's a place where you can put modules in, and this is a 16-port Ethernet switch module, and it's the same as plugging a switch into the back of the router with 16 ports. And what we're going to do is we'll just, for this particular 3725, we're only going to use the switch capabilities, and we're going to use it as a designated switch. We're not going to use it as a router anymore. So see, we can do all the switching functions in GNS3. If anybody told you you can't, well, they're right if you're talking about layer 3 switches, but for layer 2s, yes, we can do it. I'm going to skip the WIC cards because, okay, idle PC is important. We'll do that next, but I'm not going to do it here. I'll show you exactly how to do the idle PC. That's where we're going to go from here. Okay, I'll do Finish. Okay. Now I click on this router, and I should have a 3725. So first thing I want to do is turn it on. So you right click, go down here and do Start. You could have gone up here and done Start. Okay, so we're going to start up the router. You should see it come up over here, and this should turn green when the router starts. Now, a problem with GNS3 is one of these routers can end up taking up your whole processor. If you go to, you can go and look at how much of your processor this router is taking up until you set your idle PC. So I'm going to console into the router. So I just consoled into the router, and it's basically booting up. I'm going to pause it while it's finishing booting. Okay, so you can see here we're on the actual router, which we're calling a switch. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and set the idle PC. Choose here idle PC. So it's computing the values for us. I'm going to pause while it's computing. Okay, it found some values. So what you want to do is click this down arrow and choose one with an asterisk. Once you choose an asterisk, and apply, and then say OK. Now your idle PC is optimized. If it had not chosen, if it had not determined an asterisk, what you want to do is just choose any different one than you already ran and run the idle PC again, like this. So if it hadn't have got an asterisk, what I would do is run it again. And after running it again, I'm going to go ahead and pause. After running it again, at that point you would likely get another one with an asterisk. So you just keep doing that. So if there was no asterisk here, I would just run this one, for example. Just randomly pick one. You don't want to run the same one or you won't get an asterisk. Just pick a different one, run it, the idle PC, and then choose one with the asterisk. But now mine is optimized, so this guy's all set. So we can go in to the console port and just do whatever we want. We can do a show run, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that. And you can see the show run here. Go ahead and look at the rest of it. Okay, so you see here is my 16-port switch module that I put into this router. Okay, let's do a quick. Okay, so you can see here are your typical router interfaces, and we did not add any WIC cards, so we have very few router interfaces, and then now we have all the switch port interfaces, and that's all we're going to use for this actual module. Is we're just going to use it as a switch. And you can in fact right click on here, do the change symbol, and make it look like a switch. So now we're good to go. Okay, so on the next video we're going to take a look at basic switch configurations when you pull it out of the box. All right, thanks.